Boys and girls, welcome here. We have got another day-long tournament on the Heroes Lounge channel. We are going to be going into the Legendary Cup. I am joined by my favorite caster from New Zealand all the way over here. It is Coffee. Say hello to the people, Coffee.
Hello, everyone. I'm thankful you didn't go with what you said. You got to call me Australian, but yeah, it is currently 1 a.m. here in New Zealand, but that's okay. We should have some very good games ahead of us, and we are starting off with possibly one of the best games we'll be having today. We have top of Division 2 against the top of Division 3, and I can't really think of a better way we could hope to start the Legendary Cup.
What a match to warm us up indeed. Food for Frobius, the Frobius fanboys. That's where that name comes from. Going up against PrayForUs. Oh, I can't wait for it to get started, Coffee.
A lot of people will be looking at this and thinking, oh, it's Division 2, Division 3, it's going to be pretty one-sided, but I don't think that's true. We've seen crazier things happen in some of our multiple division playoffs, and I think that this is definitely one that could go to 3 games. Both teams been looking pretty good so far, so we will see what ends up happening.
It most certainly is, Coffee, but we have had our map bans in already. If we take a little look, the blue team, Food for Frobius, have removed Braxis Holdout and Towers of Doom, not wanting to play on either the 2-lane cheese map or the really long sort of fighting to the end. They don't want to give us that constant chance for a PrayForUs comeback. They feel like they want to close this out early, Coffee.
Which makes sense. I think, like, even though it can be competitive series, they're definitely favored. So it makes sense that they want to be going for the more consistent maps with less chance of crazy upsets happening or any sort of pocket strategies that might be coming out. So on the other side, we have the Cursed Hollow and Tomb of the Spider Queen ban, and we will be starting on Dragonshire. And if we're talking for consistent maps, then, well, you can really look no further than Dragonshire, one of the most bog standard maps you have in Hero Pool. So this is a little bit of an interesting pick, I think, from the side of PrayForUs.
Well, those of you who have watched a Luca cast before will know where I stand on Dragonshire, and it is not, I repeat, not in the corner of Dragonshire. It is not a map I enjoy, but it will be interesting to see what PrayForUs have got prepped for this game, because Food for Frobius do look really quite strong on Dragonshire. It's one of their preferred maps, so this is definitely a call out for PrayForUs.
And if they can win here, then I'll be a lot more confident in their chances of taking this series. But as I said, it's a staple for the side of Food for Phobius. It's one of the more standard maps. So we'll see if maybe they have something exciting prepared for us, or whether they are just going to see how well they match up in the first game. This is a best of 3, so even if the first one doesn't go your way, you can maybe do the reverse sweep and come out ahead anyway.
That is very true. This first game, obviously, it's going to set the tone for the series, but it's by no means the be-all and end-all of the series. There's that room for you to come back, and you get to go into game 2 with your choice of map pick and first pick, maybe find some momentum that you can carry into that deciding series if it doesn't go your way. We're just waiting on our teams a little bit, aren't we? Yeah.
Game one more player to get into the lobby. You can see we're starting. I see the teams want to keep me awake for as long as possible, which I appreciate that.
Well, obviously, Coffee, as soon as game 3 finishes and we find out who our first finalist is going to be, we're all going to have to jump off in order to turn on the Heroes Lounge Twitch to watch the second semi-final and grand final of this game. Is that not correct?
No, it's not correct, because we, of course, have Heroes Lounge Twitch channel already open, so we can raise that viewer number and have a look at the wonderful people over in Twitch chat. I see you there, Mr. Houdini. How is it in my place? It is just past 1 in the morning, so the highest quality of casting would be coming out, I'm sure.
And for those of you out there, like Coffee, who think that maybe 1 in the morning you're going to be so tired that you're going to have to sleep basically through the day and get up at 1 in the morning again the next day, What's going to be waiting for you there, Coffee?
Well, other than my wonderful friends over at Hyper is, of course, the rest of the Mythic Championship will be tomorrow, so if you're not satisfied after like 6 hours of games today, maybe a little bit more, just come back tomorrow and wait for that. Of course, there's also, following us both days, as it turns out, is the CCL, so there's plenty of HOTS this weekend if that's what you're in the mood for.
A little bit of Hasu wins these every day, kicking us off at 1 p.m. and finishing off for 30k, probably at like midnight or something. I don't know exactly when 30k play, but 1 in 4, it could be quite funny. That might be a lot of HOTS if you're called Hasselhoffs there in that day.
Last I checked, his CCL team isn't called How's It Wednesdays every day.
No, but his Heroes Lounge team is.
Yes, but well, I'm sure he'll be. Well, luckily he's in the upper bracket, right? So he doesn't have to play too many matches in the Mythic Championship.
Mm-hmm. Well, that really depends on how well Game 1 goes for him.
Well, I suppose that's true, but so far they have lived up to the name of winning these every day.
Mm-hmm.
So,
will X-Ray be able to take it for a 4th season in a row? I think it is now. You're more the expert than me here, Coffee, but
well, I think you'd be quite bold to bet against Hazu when he's playing in the Heroes Lounge. Definitely one of our better players here in EU for sure.
He's not the worst. But that's not all the content coming up on the Heroes Lounge channel, because next week on Saturday, we're going to be seeing the true contest, the contest that all of the pro players are talking about. It's on the lips of everyone over at Heroes Hearth Esports. They're waiting for it. It is, of course, the ARAM Cup. Which team is best at randomly selecting the 5 strongest heroes to run down mid lane and into the tower before their opponents can run down mid lane and in harder into the tower? That will be on Saturday. And then
there won't be any Hogger though.
There won't. Ooh, I don't actually know. Is Hogger banned in the ARAM Cup? How does that work?
I'm pretty sure I saw an announcement about the other day, and quite a few people are sad about that.
That seems bizarre. Like, if I get offered Hogger and I can't pick it, I might cry, team.
Imagine not being able to play Hogger on a one map where you can probably just bounce back and forth across the lane the entire game, and you're probably not even playing it that badly if you do so. Hogger. Of course, not available today. Recently came out. A few bugs and perhaps a little bit overtuned at the moment.
I suppose we'd be amiss to not point out. Also, we're on a new patch as of Wednesday, and the medallion has gone. That is a difference from the last time this channel was live.
Yep. Nobody missing that one, I'm assuming. But what this means is, I mean, we've already been seeing leaning by some teams to go for large front lines of triple bruisers, maybe skipping a main tank for that, but these bruisers with all their crowd control, they're going to be even better when they have when the medallions are gone. So we might see an even more brawling meta emerge as a result of it. But it looks like we're almost ready to go, just waiting for one of our casters at the moment.
Oi! Are we? Oh, not one of us. Never mind.
No.
We were being aggressive there, Coffee. I was like, I'm ready. I turned up.
A subtle, passive-aggressive call out for you.
Yeah,
definitely.
Anyway, we have, I think, just enough time to talk about the final event coming up on the Heroes Lounge channel. This will be on the Sunday next week, and it is the most innovative tournament in all of Heroes of the Storm history. One team stays on in a winner-stays-on format. I said stays on too many times in one sentence, but we're going to carry on anyway. It is, of course, the Nexus Rumble, Coffee. It is the most innovative tournament. It is so innovative. And in fact, we are going to be seeing the reigning champion-ish of the Nexus Rumble, the strongest team ever to play in the Nexus Rumble, Food for Frobius, coming into this first Dragonshire game here, Coffee.
So there we go. A little bit of a warm-up here for the real tournament that, as you said, coming up a little bit later on. And it'll be interesting to see how they do, because I am somewhat interested because I know that quite a few teams, like after the season ends, like I don't want to count them out, obviously, but suppose that Food for Phobius were to lose today, are they gonna stick together for the brawl?
Well,
Perhaps only like 4.
I can't possibly imagine anyone forfeiting when they had a spot in the most innovative tournament of all Heroes of the Storm history. Coffee, the Nexus Rumble. What a tournament. Who would ever not turn up for that giving thing? And of course, we have to remember, whilst Food for Frobius are the top team with the most wins, the highest win rate in the Nexus Rumble, second place on that list, the mighty Super Unstoppable Bros. What a team they are, Coffee. So strong. Such an incredibly handsome tank and shot caller. He is truly a masterclass of this Heroes of the Storm game.
I mean, this is just a meme where Obama's giving himself a medal, isn't it?
Don't know what you mean, Coffee. I'm sure that the incredibly humble and intelligent shot caller of Super Unstoppable Bros, who is known for his great plays and general calm coolness and incredible drafting, he would never say something like that about himself live on stream. I really think we need a game, though, because I can only fill this for so long.
We should bring the captain of our team into the call for an interview, I suppose.
Hang on, I think we've got him right here, Coffee. Hello, who's this? Do you want me for an interview? I heard, Coffee.
Oh yeah, I'm looking for an interview. Why are you not the most successful team in the Nexus Rumble at the moment?
Well, basically, we played for 2 weeks, and then we realised that on Sunday you can go out and drink.
So
we
you
played Kerrigan with Maelstrom and no Carapace against Food for Frobius, and we didn't win. And now we go out and drink on Sundays instead, Coffee.
So what I'm hearing is that you did want to skip the most important and most famous tournament of Heroes of the Storm. Is this true?
Well, at the time, Coffee, we were, of course, the reigning champions of this tournament, and obviously every day we woke up, we got joy from that. But being, the first team to successfully hold their place in the upper bracket, we thought probably it was about time someone else got to feel as good and as great as we did, whilst we were getting shit-faced in the pub.
You're so generous. I can't think of anyone else who would be so willing to give up their spot as the champion. I mean,
that's very kind of you. I'm going to have to go now before production hounds me off, so I'm gonna give the spot back to my co-caster.
We're gonna have to end this interview and bring my other caster back in.
Hello, Coffee. Oh, what a great guy. He definitely didn't break any stream rules. No.
What? I was not told of any stream rules. Might need to DM me about those.
Yeah.
Before
anyway.
Enough of that.
I can't believe that wasn't enough filler, team. I can't believe
we are going quite the distance here. Just
looks
I don't even know what at this point. Looks like
on stream we're gonna have a little look at Jam Panda's stats. I think that is what we're doing right now. We're having a little look at Jam Panda's Anna, her Stukov, and her Malfurion. Now, Jam, she is known for the 3-man route. I am not sure if we've seen the clips. They are in the Heroes Lounge channel, Coffee, but when Jam gets that Stukov, you run scared.
Well, Stukov is definitely a pretty nice support at the moment. Now, of course, with a medallion removal, it does suggest that maybe we're going to see the cleanse supports return. Malfurion being one of those cleansing options, so a hero that we might see coming up in prominence with the change in the patch.
That is true. Anna, of course, sort of a cleanse support as well. Once you get to that 13, that stun removal, giving the armor, getting those 50-50 skill shot coin flips, very good if you can land those. And those sleeps, of course, are great as well. It looks like, though, Coffee, and I hesitate to say this because I don't want to curse it, but it looks like we're going to be very close to the first draft of the first game of the Legendary Cup Season 13, I really hope, in Europe.
Well, 15 minutes of filler seems to possibly been enough time. I unfortunately have had to do worse at some point before, but we are finally into draft number 1. Once again, for those who I can understand having forgotten at this point, it is a Dragonshire chosen by the side of
PrayForUs.
PrayForUs. Not quite
First pick
yet,
going over to Food for Frobius. And what are we going to see coming out here, Coffee?
Well, if we're going on the Division 1 meta, which is basically what I know, we're going to be seeing high priority on the Cassion, the Chromie. These are the pretty much the most contested heroes at the moment, but I do remember you saying that Fazeev is someone who very much lives up to a name and is a huge Medivh fan, so that will likely be something we see banned away, you have to imagine.
I would not be shocked to see the removal of Medivh. He is a very strong hero right now, and if your team is practiced with him, usually you're more used to all of his matchups than your opponent. So expecting to see him go down here. We do see that Sylvanas removed very early there as well, Coffee. So, you know, that's a strong hero. It gives you that early game pressure, and maybe PrayForUs has a bit of a Sylv one trick in their ranks.
And if you think that Food for Phobius are going to win game number 1, exclamation mark, bet A in the Twitch chat. If you think PrayForUs can win the series, exclamation mark, bet B. That Medivh has indeed been removed, so not going to see that at least in game number 1, but you have to imagine that Medivh will not see the light of day this series.
I agree, but now you have this really difficult decision in that second ban slot because we have Sonny. Her ETC is an 100% win rate in Lounge this season. 100% Coffee. And then you have Jam. Her Stukov is a monster. And then, of course, they're called Frobius. You've got to remove Fadiv's Probius because it is so strong, Coffee. It is such an incredible power pick, that little guy.
And I'll just add one more thing to what you said before. It's not just a 100% win rate on ETC. That's over 12 games. This is not like just a one-time occurrence. There's so often that this team, they get ETC, they have an excellent showing, and I mean, we might see him now, but Stukov, as you mentioned before, another favored hero for this team, will be banned away. ETC available, so I suppose if you just lock ETC 100% win rate, you can't possibly lose, but it will be Falstad as the first lock-in here for the side of Phobius, and feels a little bit interesting, but I suppose they're looking to possibly play topside favored map, use Falstad with excellent rotations and wave clear to put some pressure up there. This is a nice answer though. I think it's been well known at this point that I'm not a large fan of Brightwing, but very useful at protecting your offlaner on Dragonshire. ETC will be taken away, so we do indeed have a game. It's not just 100% win rate.
That is true. They are going to deny Sonny that ETC, and that Brightwing is a nice little counterpin, the yang to the yin of Falstad's top rotation. You can instantly force the 2v2 top side, which maybe is not going to be too favored, but Anna Ming coming down, Sidonian's Ming with that jam sleep. It's a very strong combo, and I'm looking forward to see if they can find any pickoffs on that ETC. Coffee.
We were talking about the Ana before being one of those pseudo cleanse supports, and Ana Ming pairing as old as time at this point. Very annoying for ETC. The wave of force we might see coming out to interrupt the mosh pit. Johanna will be removed, one of ETC's less favourable matchups. Nice to see that one getting removed. And now we do have PrayForUs because they are the second pick. They can get the counter pick for the offlane if they want. So maybe we're going to see one of those camp options such as Rexar banned away possibly by the side of Food for Phobius here. But it will be the Lost Vikings, which falls under the same bucket and entirely understandable ban.
I don't think anyone wants to play against the Lost Vikings. Coffee, it is so painful. If they have a good Lost Vikings player on the other side, you can just find yourselves in positions where you have no impact on the outcome of the match. You just constantly chasing XP. You can never catch it all. And Food for Frobius, they don't want to play that game, and probably rightly so. Gul'dan and Genji coming out for PrayForUs. Genji gonna be diving in on that Ana, that Ming, and that Falstad. All really quite nice matchups for the Shimada Ninja.
So we do have Brightwing Bomb coming out from the side of PrayForUs. Genji very good at getting by the top of them, which, I mean, in that case, you're taking Emerald Wind, which I'd be quite excited for, but I don't know, Genji not really a hero I've seen have too much success in recent times. Now, Frobius, UL, and Anubak are their options. One of the best blind picks into the solo lane, and Anubak, not a hero we see too much recently, but with the removal of Medallion, becomes a lot more reasonable to choose as a tank, so we'll see what Sonny's able to do on that one.
Those cocoons as well are going to lead to some very nice potential blow-ups from that Li Ming. And it's a nice answer to that Dragon Blade that otherwise might have been missing in the comp they had. But Gazlo is going to be the pick-off into Urel, and this is not a matchup I'm familiar with, Coffee.
And, well, we'll see what is able to happen. Urel probably going to... I mean, it's a little bit interesting because I think both teams are going to have some probably on the off lane because Falstad can go up there quite nicely, Genji can move up quite nicely, so we might end up seeing a bit of a 2v2 in the top side of the end, so 1v1 doesn't really matter, but I feel like it's going to be pretty nice for Gazzo if no one else heads up there, but we will see what ends up happening as both these teams have gone for things that perhaps I can't say I was expecting Falstad to be coming out as the first pick. Genji was not a hero I really had on my radar, so I'm quite excited to see what both of these teams are going to be able to bring. What do you have to say about it? Is the Genji something that this team brings out a lot? I'm not too familiar.
I couldn't tell you either, I'm afraid, but you know, it definitely makes some sense here to me. There's some heroes on the blue side that Genji has some very nice trades into, the Ana, the Li Ming, and the Falstad. All matchups you feel quite comfortable with that Genji. But as we transition into the game, it's time to meet up Teams Coffee on the blue side in this first game in the Legendary Cup. They came first in Division 2. They have played so many Nexus Rumble games to success. They are food for Frobius with Sodi on the Anubrak, Fiziv on the Falstad, Sidonian on the Li Ming, Hat on the Urel, and Jam bringing us that Ana.
And on the red side, representing for Division 3, it is PrayForUs. Link will be playing Gazzo, Hyakuzo playing Genji, Splice playing ETC, Vost on Gul'dan, and Soljaroon playing the Bright Wing.
And already we see the red side just trying to get a little bit of damage on that bot lane. They know that the mid lane isn't that important.
Oh no.
Here's the real
Genji. Darling as we need to go on. However, taking 2 fault shots is Link, and now Fiziv is here to assist, so Gazzo maybe getting a little bit too ambitious there, going to full hero kill for the well. I'm not entirely sure if I would say that's worth it in the end. Very nice awareness by Fiziv to be in position for that though.
It's not an awful trade. You still get that well down, which as the game goes on, especially because Urel won't have that right wing to top her up, it might cause her to get slightly out-sustained. She's going to have to back off much more than she otherwise would do in that lane, Coffee.
Take control of the shrines.
Gazzo can perhaps look to trade a bit harder as a result. Urel not having the most sustain because we don't take no odds inside these days, and we are having now the invade from the side of PrayForUs looking to get the 5v4 steal of a siege camp. We'll be able to do so. The benefit of killing the Gazzo had to catch the top lane, gives Hat time to rotate down and help the team out. Very nice to see. Quick talent note, we do see it's a Q builds Gul'dan coming out from Frost, so we'll be spiking at perhaps level 7 instead of the usual level 16 Gul'dans we see with absurdly powerful E talent of 16, but very nice for clearing these lanes safely, and things are looking quite good for PrayForUs at the moment.
When you say usually, surely you mean usually as in spiking when you get that level 7 for the suck build, no Coffee? So that you can stand still, channel and heal. That is the only way to play Gul'dan.
Yes, that was absolutely what I had in mind, as right now we're seeing Urel going to have control of top point. Hammer will convince a Link to step back for a moment, but now as guys are fighting with the turrets, but Viziv has arrived and once again wants to destroy this annoying gnome, but arriving just in time to save our offlaner here for the side of PrayForUs.
Very nice little rotation there from Fizz, trying to get the initial kill onto the Gazlo. He fell so low with that Brightwing teleport coming in when he had just 100 life left. Very nicely done, but I do feel the need to correct you here, Coffee, because he is, of course, a goblin, not a gnome.
I must apologize for my
As an Australian,
terrible,
you must understand that when people get these things wrong, it can be very annoying.
Blue side now having control of bottom, but the rotations coming in. Hazo looking to fight Jam, but Jam is all up for that one. Going to, of course, get the lovely strike healing, I suppose, but it will just be not actually in time from Hazuko. So the first Dragon of the game will go over to Food for Frobius.
Matter of seconds, Genji was out by on that interrupt, but it wasn't enough. And the first Dragon Knight here gonna come barreling down into this bottom lane, seeing what value they can get. Probably gonna get this wall down, Coffee, and then, you know, all eyes are gonna be on that bottom well.
Well, we will see if that ends up going down, but for now, Polstad smacking away on the gate, got himself a nice little dragon, and yeah, that well did not really stand a chance, so nice advantage going the way of the Division 2 team at the moment. Things looking pretty good for them. Quite really to see we have a calamity looming here from our blue team, as well. Splice will be able to get out of that little bush gang. I mean, possibly wanting to respect the bushes in the future, though, as well. The camp steal's happening again. Ziv with the bribe will take it very quickly.
Food for Frobius saying, this is our camp. You have to come and get this if you want it. We're not giving it up. It's nice. It's starting to work out just that little bit of pressure in the bot lane for the blue team. It's converted into almost a half-level XP lead as well, Coffee. It's by no means game over, but it's those little advantages that you have to eke out on Dragon's Shire. And right now, the Div 2 team just doing a slightly better job of that, I would say.
Well, we're having a pretty big advantage here because now our ETC going to take a lot of damage here. Nubrak will go in, but Brightwing going to heal ETC to full health. This camp possibly going to help push down the fort, but will be cleared out by Gul'dan and friends relatively easily. The same, however, cannot be said for the topside boost camp, smacking away at this wall. Link, in the meanwhile, just going to be getting the mid lane soak.
Nice try there from ETC, trying to catch Viziv out, but he's wise to it. No rotation coming in on the Faustad, and now the red team, with the 5-man, the rotational advantage, going to invade Food for Frobius' camp, and Urel is stuck topside. They're going to have to let this go.
Well, if you can steal our siege camps, how about we come and steal yours, is what PrayForUs are saying is now possibly looking to get on top of Link, going to be smacked in by the hammer. Cocoon comes out onto Brightwing, so no heal at the moment for our red team, and Gazlo falling, Brightwing running away as fast as a Fairy Dragon can. Nano boost on Sleeming though, and that'll be an easy second kill. Very nice use of the level 10s here from Food for Frobius.
Very unfortunate there for PrayForUs. It looked like such a good camp steal, but then those level 10 abilities hit, that Urel flank came through, and they were just forced into a fight they were in no position to take. The Cocoon not allowing the Brightwing to leave, and the blow up first on the ETC and then onto that little Fairy Dragon. Very well executed. But that siege camp, whilst the fight was going on, dealing over half of the bottom fort's health, so not a completely lost trade there for PrayForUs.
Getting something in return as now looking for the Urel kill, but will be able to walk out safely. And now the stage dive coming in from Splice onto the bomb side. They're looking for Arna. Holfly comes out just in time, actually. And Jam actually going to walk it out, though, despite everything. Here comes Genji, though. Dragon Blade, easy swipe on the Arna. No Cocoon will be able to stop that one from happening. Getting themselves a kill in return, other side of PrayForUs.
Well spotted there from that ETC. That Ana just a little bit too far away from safety, and the engage Very well worked there, allowing them to pick her off. But now, Food for Frobius, they're taking a little bit of damage on this Nubrag, but it looks like they're going to be all right here, and they have got that top shrine secured, so able to reset despite losing this kill. Not a lot of macro pressure lost because of it, Coffee.
We'll point out that it is indeed the Brightwing Bomb with the Emerald Winds, so looks like we are going to see from the side of PrayForUs for target. It's just going to be repeatedly looking for Ana, knock her back with the Emerald Winds, and continue to split her from the team with the Horrify. Very nice to see. This is probably the best way you want to attack this team composition. Go for the very immobile support that. Well, the one person that can't be cleansed from stuns as well.
Very true, and that Brightwing Bomb's such a nice engage. But speaking of engage, ETC is taking a lot of damage here. Horrify is going to be used, but the gust from the Falstad flank is going to catch, and it looks like Gul'dan is going to fall here, Coffee, and ETC so low as well. He goes down. This Nano Li Ming is looking for blood, and as the third kill comes in onto Brightwing, Food for Frobius should be able to work themselves the third Dragon Knight of the game here, Coffee? Or the second?
This is the second one, I believe, but PrayForUs, they were trying to stop the double channel of the altars and actually running a little bit of a fine mid lane. Looks like Frobius will win this one and get themselves a TK, but PrayForUs, they were looking to get control of the bottom shrine, but end up getting collapsed on. Falstad with the flanking gust to make sure that no one able to escape. And that will be another 3 kills going the way of Frobius. With this DK going to quite easily get this bottom fort and possibly march onto the cube wall as well.
Nicely done here. They've just taken their big fight wins where they can get them, and this Li Ming has allowed them to turn slight advantages in fights into serious leads. Cocoon on the Brightwing coming down, but not going to be the follow-up there, unfortunately. The nice drain from Gul'dan will just allow her to walk out, Coffee.
So we'll just be a little bit of a love tap onto the wall. Now looking for the other members of PrayForUs. Genji going in. There's no Dragon Knight kick anymore, so we'll be able to find Ana, and it's not just going to be that. Perceive, Gust all you like, but you're going to fall. Li Ming is not faring much better. Going to get run down by Haikazo, and Sonny will fall as well. So that is 4 very nice kills going the way of PrayForUs.
It
really
is
well done with them. The Dragon Knight kick was used just before onto the ETC, but
well, we saw the Cocoon initially, right? Coming out onto the Brightwing, looking for that pick that they didn't get, and that means they no longer have their best peel team for that Genji dive. And then once that Dragon Knight kick comes out, Genji's free. He can do whatever he likes. So he sees that Ana stepped up just in his range, and he goes with that Dragon Blade. Even though it was a nice attempt to burst him down, they did a lot of damage to him. They couldn't find that kill before Ana falls, and that's the second time now that Food for Frobius have been punished for being just maybe a little bit too deep in this bottom lane, not respecting the stage dive Dragon Blade combo.
And we're seeing the invade attempts here, but Emerald Wind pretty good, going to secure that boost camp. They're not going to fight in the spell armor though. Now, Perceive on the flank, huge gust, Grabber Bomb is there onto Hat, but everything is just so nice for the Li Ming at the moment. 2 kills going their way. A huge sleep from Jam onto 2 members. Genji taking a lot of damage, will find the Li Ming kill though, but despite everything, this is going to be... Actually, I'm not spoken too soon. The Gazelle turrets are still around, so it will be a 2 for 3 in the end. Pretty close fight, all things considered.
A nice fight there coming out for Food for Frobius. Despite not having that 16, they recognized the better angle that they had, and a nice gust from Fazeev allowed Li Ming to get those initial 2 kills. But PrayForUs not wanting to be left, taken on their own, they fought back and they got a couple of picks for themselves, making sure that there wasn't a lot of value available for Food for Frobius from those kills.
This is the second time now we've seen PrayForUs try to collapse from multiple directions, use the gust to make these members of the blue team fight from in a corner, but this time not quite working out as well for them. But 9 kills to 7, it's a pretty close game. Either team able to win from this point for sure. Now, Bruiser's Camp is going to be pushing top lane. Link going to be stuck up here for a little bit of time to clear that one away. control of the map, going the way of PrayForUs in a moment, but nothing will... Well, actually, they might be able to look for this one, or barely gain the interrupt in time.
Looming there, that orb able to connect square onto Genji. There won't be a cap, and now Falstad can just calmly retake the bot side, and Yrel has just managed to retake top side as well. So food for Frobius now, a little bit more comfortable. They're going to try and pressure out this top side, I think, with that Falstad fly. He's going on the bench, but it looks like Gazlo is going to be the target here. They've got the full four-man here. Liaming only one left behind, and they go in hard on him. He is caught a little bit too far out. The stage dive coming through, though, could be a second kill here if ETC isn't careful. Food for Frobius not wanting to take the fight under the fort, though. Happy to back out.
The large collapse coming out from the side of Food for Frobius, and they're not done yet because it looks like they want to go find themselves another few kills on the Bruce camp. Cocoon once again onto right wing, will return now though. Everyone win ensures everyone survives, but Bruce camp going the way of Food for Frobius, and somewhat surprised we're not looking to go for the top fort of this, but...
Looks like we're setting for another Dragon Knight here, Coffee D, and a Falstad rotation, just making sure that if there's anyone in that bottom lane, they're guaranteed the cap, and now this should be second Dragon Knight coming out. Oh, it's very close.
Genji maybe looking to stop it, but no. Splice actually managing to find the channel of the top shrine in time, so nothing will come of that. Visive will barely manage to pick up all the XP, so nothing really lost to look for that capture, and the game just goes on. We might actually reach level 20 by the time the song and dance is finished.
And Food for Frobius does still have this half-level lead they've been picking up from their kills, so they're not too worried about waiting for 20. They will be able to force that fight, but Yrel might be a little bit deep here, and she's got a lot of friends up here, Coffee. The Horrify comes out to fear her. There's a stage dive as well. All of the ults being popped, but Yrel's still living, and Food for Frobius have arrived. Can they take this fight now? They're down in numbers, but they have the ultimate abilities. Gust comes out, but it doesn't know it's going to be a kill, and Dragonblade coming in, cutting through Anubrak. She's falling, and the Genji gets traded out for the Anub. It's a 2-for-1 trade in favor of PrayForUs, and now it looks like Food for Frobius are going to have to reset. They've lost both their frontliners, but ETC, he wants more. He's sliding in. He's putting out that damage. Liaming hiding behind that fort here, Coffee, but it looks like they are going to live to fight another day here.
Nice fight by PrayForUs. It looks like they had been effing on Yrel, who nearly managed to survive even, but they were able to find the 2-for-1 trade in the end. Now it is Gul'dan going to try and clear out this bottom push we have here, and level 20 is now for Food for Frobius, but they won't be able to use this talent lead because by the time that their members respawn, level 20 will be available for both teams. So that means the very powerful Grabber Bomb and Horrify upgrades now available. So we might see some enormous AoE combos from the side of PrayForUs. A little bit interesting though is that we do have Storm Shields from ETC, not going for one of those. Not going for the Deathmatch, not going for the really enormous stage dive upgrade, which would have been a little bit of fun.
I think ever since it lost that CDR, the stage dive upgrade kind of fell off a little bit. The slow is nice, but it's not required normally. You've got enough CC just by landing, and so they feel that they'd rather have that extra survivability for the initial Leaming blow up, especially because the way these gusts are working is usually putting their team in positions where they're all grouped, but stage dive and Nubrak getting blown up, but the gust just enough to save him. Genji now on the backline, but he's dropping. He's going to be the first to fall here, Coffee. Damage now from the Liaming coming through, and the ETC is in the web. He's going to fall if they can't break that soon. Hat on the Yrel, just trying to keep them here, but the Horrify comes down, and it looks like PrayForUs will be able to back out of this with only one death.
Slight miscalculation by our Division 3 team here, not quite able to kill. Nubrak will be able to get the hardened carapace off, and Sonny survives in the end. Genji not really able to do much, fighting into the wind tunnel there. A few other interesting talents, but Genji not going for the usual level 22C, but those don't matter at the moment. Who cares about talents when we have a level 20 push with the Dragon Knight, with the numbers advantage? This might just be the end of the game here for the side of Food for Frobius.
They definitely are going to get this keep, but good damage has come out onto Fizzy's Dragonite, so it looks like we won't be able to go core here. There was a nice attempt on the ETC, but he didn't fall, and so now I think I just want to see Food for Frobius back out of this. The stage dive is up, and Genji is on his way, so they are definitely at risk of getting caught here if they stay too long. You can't give the red team eyes on that Ana right now. At least not when she's dismounted, but Food for Frobius, they want to take out this fort, and we've got a little bit of a pause here, Coffee. So we're going to come back to our casters here. What a game so far, Coffee.
Yeah, it's been quite back and forth. Both teams showing that they are able to find good team fights for themselves when the conditions are met. We've seen PrayForUs, they've been looking to go for these more of a collapse sort of thing, maybe trying to find the backline when the defensive skills are on cooldown. And from the side of Frobius, just looking to try and survive a burst, find the big plays with the Mighty Gust, now Wind Tunnel, of course, so even better, but still a pretty close game. However, definite advantage for Frobius. They've got the keep down, and now we have some time we can actually talk about this, because I don't think I've seen Sharpened Stars picked on Genji in quite some time. Both of the heroic upgrades are pretty good. The extra duration on the Dragon Blade, the cooldown reduction on X-Strike, but I suppose we do have a little bit of a Q build coming out here. Shogun Mastery and Shingen were also taken, so maybe this was a deliberate choice by our Genji player here.
That Anubrak is so fat, right? Come back into this game here. Can we see Food for Frobius just walk it out? It looks like they are going to be able to, but coming back to my point, those Anubrak, that Urel, really quite large hitbox heroes, and if Genji can hug them and then add the full Q onto them, that's going to chunk, especially that Anubrak, down very quickly, Coffee. So I think maybe that's the idea here. It means that you get that kill potential on these front lines as well.
We'll be able to pick up the middle fort as well before the Dragonite finishes, so quite a substantial structure lead for Food for Frobius at the moment, but the game will go on, and we are quite likely to have a little bit of downtime at the moment. Teams probably not wanting to take any larger risks before the next objective comes on up.
Just going to see that little tug of war, both teams vying for a slightly better position so that when they do have to take that fight, they have the ability, they have the advantage, the upper hand, trying to win it. Food for Frobius, again, they just don't want to give away this camp.
Old habits die hard, and they are determined to take this camp at every opportunity. And will hardly, so that second giant not going to die just now, but looks like we are going to have an all-out bull over this siege camp. It will be Genji going into Cocoon. Winter comes out, these members, they're not where they want to be. Brightwing is gone. It's going so well now. Actually, I was speaking too soon. Genji trying to do what he can with the Dragon Blade, but not able to find anything. Sonny left on her own, though, trying to bow charge out. Genji finds the kill, so this might be just a Sharpened Stars Genji carry here after it was looking so good initially for the side of Food for Frobius.
Such a great gust there, catching that Emerald Wind Brightwing. She doesn't have the mobility Brightwing normally has, and so she goes down, but the huge collapse in on that Brightwing, capitalized on by the Reds team, the Gravo Bomb and the Genji Dragon Blade coming out, getting so much splash damage on all the members, and in the end, Urel ends up falling. Anubrak ends up having to burrow out to a point where he can't get back to safety, and the 2-for-1 trade going over for PrayForUs is going to give them the ability to cap this Dragonite, I think, Coffee.
And, well, objective about to come up. Members on both shrines at the moment. Genji can very swiftly make his way over to middle lane. Oh no, the catapult. Leashed. Gonna take a little bit of time, but that's okay. We'll be able to get them. Dragonite, no problemo. And looks like the decision is going to be just push down bottom lane, try and even up the keep score, stop the pushing of those catapults.
But with Genji in that Dragonite, the dive pressure, the potential death threat, on the backline of Frobius is all but removed, and so this
All
fight for them
should be on Fazeev on the flank with the Gust. Wind Tunnel, Power Charge not connecting. Gas are taking quite a bit of damage from leaving them. In goes the Nuback once again, and it looks like Link is the target. Will fall, Blabbing not going to arrive in time. Grab a bomb, not really doing much. Now, Fazeev going to get out of safety. They've found the man advantage. They've got the successful defense here, and Keep absolutely going to survive by the looks of things. Going to continue marching as a 45. This is pretty risky. Oh, the huge sleep of Jab! Now it's absolute deletion of the Brightwing. 2-man sleep, no problem. Now it's Hat, got the bunny hop build, looking to take down that Gul'dan. Another kill goes the way of Food for Frobius. Very ambitious by PrayForUs, looking to keep pushing with a member down, and this might be the end of the game.
Looks like the Food for Frobius members are rushing towards this core. They think they've got the end. They won't have the wave with them. It is a 2v5, and Genji does still have that Dragon Blade, so can Hayakuzo carry this fight? He finds the engage onto Jam. The swipes are coming out. Ana is falling so low, but the wind tunnel is there. Anubarak getting the cocoon off onto ETC as well means that Jam will survive, and now Gazlo is up here. But it looks like that core is going to start falling coffee as the shields are almost broken down.
I wouldn't be so sure.
As the Nubarak falls, Jam is so low. Is she going to go down here as well? Urel forced to pop that Ardent Defender, and it looks like PrayForUs have held this coffee.
So much damage. Genji did fall, but got Jam down to just a few hundred health, so have to play very passively when looking for a core. They don't have the greatest of core damage after a real marksman on the team, and now the game is continuing. We're at 23 minutes here on Dragonshire, and we might be having another ball over Siege Camp because of course we are. Stage time for me to see. There's no one there, buddy. They will find a Siege Camp with it though, I suppose. The real objective in this game.
Those bottom siege camps worth their weight in gold, according to our two teams here today, at least, Coffee. Really valuing that pressure on the bottom side of the map. And you can see why, but speaking of pressure, Genji is stuck looking at an absolutely massive wave here on the Bridge of Death. I suppose his sharpened stars are going to allow him to clear that out a little bit better. So here we go, the big brain wave clear level 20 talent, but the line that we both missed, Coffee.
Ah, yes, I do love my Genji having wave clear, and he's going to need some because the Booster Camp about to march his way, but looks like Gul'dan and friends will be there to assist with taking that one out. So many camps going to be just fed into the arms of Falstad, though, going to clean... Oh. Looks like we are going to once again have a little bit of a delay. Game 1, and we're already 45 minutes into the stream as well. This has gone quite the distance for game number 1. It's been very back and forth between these two teams so far.
I feel like I'm ready to tap out, say I've done my 3 casts, and go home, watch the streams. But Coffee, we're only 1 game into what is potentially 3 best-of-3 series coming up here today. Oh, let's hope they're all as exciting as this one. I think we have to take another moment, though, to talk about that incredible hold there coming out from the Genji. Not able to secure a kill, but taking so much attention and putting out so much damage that once Food for Frobius finally picked him off, they didn't have the momentum and the reset to actually go full the core there, and they were forced to back off. Very nicely played there by him.
And what it means that the side of PrayForUs have got themselves another chance in this game. Perhaps going to be able to make the win from behind as camp's cleared out now on the bomb side. PrayForUs with control of the top of the map, and okay, so will get the bomb shine. No cheeky Dragon Knight steals just yet, but I suspect we're going to have another fight in our hands as... Of course, it's going to be around the siege camp.
Not a camp there, guys. There's nothing to fight over. You can just leave. It's going to be okay. But, PrayForUs are going to get this pressure again onto the Dragon Knight. And Genji is already in position to cap. This will be a Dragon Knight going over to PrayForUs.
Alright, so another Dragon Knight for PrayForUs onto the Bomb Keep. The last one got half of it, but costed their lives. See how much they have to do this time. Once again, all eyes on Fazeev, on the false stand with the Wind Tunnel Fangs. Playing very well with vision at the moment, did not get spotted by the minions, so they can guess he's on the side, but not quite sure PrayForUs, but marching down on this keep, nearly taken out by the Dragon Knight fire, and see if they feel like moving on to the core. So risky against that Falstad though, but Dragon Knight taking off health. We might have another core defense coming out here. Hallfire just onto Falstad, and he's going to be absolutely fine. Now looking for Suni, the trying to come to balance salts is there in time. Jam gonna get out as well. Dragon Knight taken out, and looks like the teams are just leaving.
Bit of deja vu there. Feels like this was just 3 minutes ago that we saw the red team running down the bottom lane with a Dragon Knight and level 20s, but that's because it was. This time though, slightly different outcome. The red team not all dead and able to pick up that bottom fort. Just even up the map again a little bit, Coffee.
The real part is about to respawn as once again the siege camp's here, but Splice may be caught out. Gotta eat everything from Li Ming, but not in time. That will be ETC falling. Receive on the flank, doesn't have Wind Tunnel yet, but might be able to get it in time, but grab a bomb onto several members, but you have no blink here, you can't get out to safety, they're gonna be falling. You'll go down as well, but Li Ming is on an absolute killing spree this game, murdering everyone in her sights. Genji, let's see if we have another miracle, but the Wind Tunnel is on time, and Genji will fall. It's a full team wipe, and perhaps this might be the end of the game at the 27-minute mark.
We could dare to dream, couldn't we, Coffee? As the blue team, with 4 members marching towards that red core. There won't be another defender up for another 15 seconds as ETC is waiting to respawn, but I think it's going to be too late, Coffee. The damage comes down, the core is falling. It's at 70, it's at 60, it's at 50. 40, 30%, and it looks like this is going to be game 1 going over to our Division 2 champions, Food for Frobius. Oh, what a game, Coffee.
What a game indeed. Very nice win on them, but it was a very close series I think we're going to be seeing, as game 1, it absolutely went the distance. How often do you see 27 minutes on Dragonshire of all maps?
Give me more of this, Coffee. Give me more of this.
Well, I think I might be able to serve some up for you, as, well, PrayForUs, they really push Frobius to the limit in game number 1, but they will now have the choice of the map pick or the first pick, seeing if maybe they can find something to turn this series around. Their map choice, Dragonshire, it was a very close game, but not quite going their way.
And now, will we see them choose to pick up another map? Do we think that they thought their map choice was the right call, or are they going to switch up, have a try on that first pick, see what Food for Frobius has for them, and try and call their number there? What do we think, Coffee?
Well, I would not be surprised if we see another map pick come out. We did see they opted onto the preferred map of the side of Food for Frobius. Makes sense, you want to take Dragonshire rather than have it picked against you because of how powerful the second pick is on that map, getting the counter pick into the solo lane. So you can understand why they picked their opponent's solo map, even though it seems a little bit strange, but maybe this time they will go for a more comfortable map for themselves.
That might be the case, or maybe they're going to see that having taken Dragonshire out of the pool, there are no more maps they are worried having first pick on, and so they just want to have that slight draft advantage into Food for Frobius.
Let's have a look. What are they going to do? Looks like they haven't quite started yet. Can understand they have one more game, possibly, if it doesn't go their way. So want to be very careful and make sure they don't make any mistakes before we load into the game.
This is
Again, you're more familiar with these teams than I am. What do you think we're going to see come out here?
Well, I couldn't necessarily speak for the PrayForUs drafting strategy, although I would be very comfortable with them going for the first pick, and they have indeed picked that first pick up. So now it comes to what maps are up for food for Frobius, and Cursed Hollow, one of their favorites, has been taken out of the pool, as has Tomb of the Spider Queen. So they are starting to struggle for maps that they at least prefer to play on. But of course, you can always see that Infernal Shrines, that Battlefield of Eternity come out, slightly more standard maps that we see more often, but they are very, very strong on those maps. And if we want to spice it up a bit, that Alterac Pass, a map that is maybe not quite as cracked as some of the other maps yet. It hasn't had the same attention in the pro scene that some of the older maps have got, Coffee. So if you think you've got a nice macro mind, Alterac Pass is a nice map to go to. But we do actually have our map pick reported, and it will be Battlefield of Eternity.
A little bit interesting. We did see that Food for Frobius, they were banning away the smaller, more volatile maps, and now they want to go to BOE, so maybe they have something in store. Maybe they, I think possibly the most likely answer is they just want to get another map where Li Ming can shine, because Sidonian doing so much work that previous game, blowing fools up with those massive spell combos, so going to another map where Li Ming can do a lot of work, BOE, get a nice poke on the objective, and either you gain chip damage, making progress that way, or you get it onto heroes. Doesn't matter, you're still happy as the Li Ming player, so that might be a hero we need to look out for in this draft. But Evo, maybe not so much.
Ooh, I don't know. I think you'll find that Fizz is very happy to play Medivh anywhere, especially if Sidonian can pick up his Greymane, another hero that he absolutely excels on, and a hero that gives you a lot of that race potential on this map. But it will be interesting to see if PrayForUs agree with you and they're willing to let Medivh through on this map, because I reckon we will see it picked up even on Battlefield of Eternity if he gets the choice.
Well, this time it will be the first pick for the side of PrayForUs, possibly going to look to first pick one of those excellent Immortal pokes as well. Maybe they're going to take that Li Ming, but Hanzo, Reina, Cassie, also a few other options that we might see coming in. Welcome to the lobby, and looks like we won't have to do too much filler this time, as we are about to get into game number 2 shortly.
It does look like this time our game will actually start when the previous game was finished, as
we don't need to
are
go
ready
and
to
show
transition
everything but before this game. Can save that for the next one, I suppose.
And here we are, Coffee, coming in to Battlefield of Eternity. The red side, PrayForUs, a map down, but this time with the first pick coming up against Food for Frobius. What interesting draft choices are we going to see here? Is that Medivh first ban going to come out instantly? And then where will the respect lie after that? Having seen Sidonian's Li Ming, having seen the brilliant plays coming out as well from that Ana, do not want to play into Ana Ming on this map. It is so scary, but will they feel confident again running the Genji as the counter?
We will see what ends up coming up. Taking a while now to think about their first ban, as they must be running through the same question. They do decide they don't want to go against Medivh. They don't want to underestimate the Fiziev and randomly lose on what is their last chance here in the Legendary Cup.
And I think probably a wise call coming out there. And we see more respect on this Garrosh coming out for Food for Frobius. And he is an absolute monster if he's played well. So I'm not opposed to this call at all. It makes a lot of dive comps so difficult to play, because that Indomitable and the Taunt give you so much pressure onto the heroes diving you, and into the frame means you can save almost anyone. But yet again, Jam Stukov is going to be their second ban coffee.
I suppose rather than having the Deadly Nova and the Deadly Don't at this point, it's going to stick with the same bans, which means we could see the same power picks coming out from Frobius, but already we're having a bit of a change up as Anna is going to be stolen away. No Anna Li Ming pairing this time around. The Sun ETC is available though, and not a bad choice against Viana, so that might be something we could see, but I suppose this one comes as no surprise as well. We're going to take Li Ming and the ETC, so honestly, at this point, all I can do is recommend bet A. This is 100% win rate ETC 12-0.
12-0 ETC. We saw Sidonian's Li Ming last game. These are some power picks coming out from Food for Frobius, but a Nubarak Valor Anna, that is a nasty little 3-man comp they have set up for themselves for PrayForUs. A lot of potential damage and a lot of CC coming out coffee. It's some glass cannon teams matching up against each other right now. These fights are going to be so explosive.
I very much hope we do not see a glass cannon pick up, but I suppose nothing is out of the window at the moment, as Urel will now be removed. They do have next selections in the draft, so could have gone for Urel if they wanted, but we'll see what the side of Food for Frobius might do. Is there any possibility of our good friend Altana showing his face? It is a Valor on the other side, so Suppression Pulse could be quite useful as well.
I definitely
or maybe I'm asking
agree
too
with you there.
much.
But the Malfurion is going to be banned out. They had a little look at Jam's graphic at the start of the stream, and they saw the 3 heroes that were on it. But here, that Greymane going to be picked up, and Jam's going to be on the Brightwing. So that Li Ming Greymane is such a nasty combo. It lets you blow up almost any hero in the game, doesn't it? Coffee.
They have so much burst damage at this point, and then the follow-up from the Polymorphers there as well. You can understand getting rid of Malfurion kind of does the same thing and has his own AoE cleanse with Nature's Cure, but Brightwing can kind of do the same thing with Soothing Mist, and having a little bit of fire here on the backside of the draft as Kale Fast and Blaze will be chosen for... Oh my lord.
It's
for the side of PrayForUs, and here comes Varian, and you have to imagine this is probably going to be Colossus Smash to go with the theme of the blow-up composition. As fun as the Windblades would be,
this is Taunt Varian 100% of the time, Coffee. This is Taunt. This is never Smash. You get the Taunt on the Anna or the Valor, and Li Ming just pops them. That's what's happening here.
Why do we need the middleman? Just Varian can be the one doing the popping. I like this other little battle we have. You can't see it on the stream, but we have a little bit of a portrait synergy duel going on here on the real battlefield, which is the loading screen. And, well, we have an extremely aggressive comp from the side of Food for Frobius, potentially a fun pick in the Varian. I mean, we can hope for Twin Blades all we want, but I would be surprised for anything other than Colossus Smash here. And on the side of PrayForUs, they've kind of put all their eggs into the Hakuzo basket. Pretty good performance in the last game on Genji. We'll see how much they can do on Valor.
But and once again, we transition completely flawlessly with no production quirks into game number 2. Food for Frobius, they've got the first map game in the series. They've picked Battlefield of Eternity. They're ready to close it out. It is Brightwing playing by Jam. It is Sonny on her 100% win rate ETC. It is Sidonian again on this Li Ming. Physique is bringing out the Greymane, and Hat is going to be on the King of Stormwind. It is Varian.
Well, he's not the king in a moment, isn't he? I know that much about my Warcraft lore. On the red team, we have PrayForUs needing to win this one, or else they are out of the Legendary Cup. It is Link playing Blaze, Soldier Loom playing Anna, Vost playing Hailfast, Splice playing Anubak, and Heizuko playing the Vala.
Definitely getting hot in here as the red team are bringing the fire coffee. Beautiful drafts coming out from both sides. Both hyper-aggressive comps with so much potential damage, but if the fight starts to swing against them, it's going to be rough for them to recover it. So some very explosive fights I'm expecting to be seen here.
I wasn't expecting to assist, but I'm very pleased to see Jam going for the greater polymorph. Makes it far easier to be in position to follow up on the ETC power side, so they can more consistently hit the blow up that they are looking for. Of course, with clever usage of the Arcane Flare, can also get the very nice mana refund and mere 5-second cooldown on polymorph, which is absolutely crazy if you can hit it several times, but nothing really happening in the moment.
Yeah, that is true. On BOE, you aren't often fighting in the waves as well, so that level 1 CDR doesn't get as much value as it might on other maps as Sonny there, just offering the bomb up to Jam as a friendly little present for the start of the game. And that polymorph range really going to make it so much easier to secure that CC chain for these blow-up comps, and once you're CC'd for too long against Leeming Greymane, you're not going to be around much longer, Coffee. That is definitely death waiting to happen.
If you are a fan of PrayForUs, there is one sign of elite, and that is that Smelling Salts is still a autonomous game, unfortunately, so 50 Arc coming out will be able to help enormously against the blood composition in the mid to late game here, but for now it is the side of Frobius with health balance. Everyone just lining up and eating of those healing darts. You'd love to see it. Feels like one of those Stormy games where you don't trust your rando playing Vala, Anna rather, and you just all stand still to make sure you get hit by the healing. But of course, this is a coordinated team. I'm hoping they have more faith in their healer than that, as it is both teams moving on to that boost camp. Everything all hunky-dory in a moment. Nothing too crazy coming out.
Gotta have a quick congratulatory shout out to Vala. When she got into the game, she remembered that she had in fact picked Vala on BOE, and so did not pick the standard level 1, instead actually picking up that Monster Hunter. But Slide coming out onto a Nubarak, and doesn't look like there's going to be enough follow-up damage to kill. Nice trade out there onto Jam's Bro. He is going to need both these teams slightly bruised as we go into our first Immortal phase, Coffee.
Magic Spit was not a talent I was expecting to seek her out from Ring, especially when you have Polymorph level 1. For extra slow on the Polymorph is quite a nice talent that we often see, but instead deciding that, hey, it's the Nubarak, it's the Kel'Thas, they have a lot of AoE crowd control, I want that soothing mist up as much as possible. Now, everyone is looking to find Link, but I mean, they find the kill. I'm not sure if it's worth it though, because that's half of their Immortal gone. First objective phase, always aggressive spawns on the second half, so they might just be able to melt this down before anything really happens here. 2-man sleep dart, and it looks like the target is just going to be Li Ming. Dies to the living bomb. Varian has survived, and it is Taunt actually, so as no Twitch chat I saw it was asking for some Smash voice acting. That will not be happening in this game though, because it's not a Smash.
Big Taunt comes out onto the Vala, into the Immortal Stun. Unfortunately, there is no damage to follow up because Li Ming has gone down, and so the race will go over to the red team, but not as drastically bad as it was looking like it was going to be, Coffee. They're in a position where they can definitely defend this, and you know that Taunt Varian, as successfully predicted by at least one caster in the draft phase, coming out here, really going to give a lot of pressure onto the Ana, onto the Vala. Once that first stun goes through, the Polymorph range and then the ETC slide should make it very difficult for them to survive the fights, Coffee.
Now, this will Smash Varian. Blades to have absolutely no fun with your flame, but what do I know, I suppose, as it is going to be Taunt, as he said, can do some really nice things when playing defensively around the objective, as I mentioned before, and first of all, got to get yourself half a foot. That's pretty good. I'd be quite happy with that if I were PrayForUs. There. Nice little advantage going into the middle stage of the game, but quite importantly, the healing fountain not taken out shield's going to very quickly refill, so...
You're always a little bit sad when that fountain survives, especially when you can get that much damage onto the fort. You think maybe if I could just have put a little bit of this damage that I have onto that fountain, I might be in a slightly stronger spot, but, you know, all things considered, they've still got the slight advantage here. They've opened up that fort, so any slight mess up from Food for Frobius will result in them losing that, and it's not an awful position to have put themselves in.
We are going to see the beta build coming out this game from Nubarak, leeching the beetles at level 1, and now the leeching scarabs for that very fun lifesteal on the beetles. Just trying to absorb as much of the leeming damage as possible. Can entirely understand it. Now, with the help of the scamp, they will be able to find themselves I mean, they also got the fort, I suppose, but who cares about that one? And now we have a nice little advantage for PrayForUs, and they're going to slowly get that nice trickle XP as well. So level 10 definitely going to be first for our red team, see what they're going to be able to do with it.
It's a nice little advantage coming in here. They're going to get a little bit of pressure in that offlane, and you know, Taunt Varian, not the best offlaner for dealing with pressure, so that might start to mount up in the late game. He is still hanging out with that camp in the bottom side, hasn't managed to really fix that up yet, as the Immortals are going to spawn. Level 10 advantage will initially be here for PrayForUs, so how are Food for Frobius going to respond to that, Coffee?
Well, looks like they're going to chant from the Bruce Camp Splice, maybe considering an invade here, but... Oh, actually does survive in time, going to stand the point, but going to eat a lot of damage. Will survive for time being thrown. This is level 9 versus 10, you do not want to do this if you're Food for Frobius. So much damage, and all the Yardbones thrown out by the side of PrayForUs. Everyone survives though, and camp even goes the way of the blue team, so...
Yeah,
not the worst, but it will be half the Immortal going down.
That bunker there on the point, meaning there wasn't technically a red hero stopping the cap anymore, and so blue team able to pick up the objective, but now the real objective is here, and the red team getting so much damage out onto these Immortals. They have to respect Food for Frobius here though, because all of their ultimates are down, and Frobius have all of theirs as Blaze absolutely vanishes from our screens, ladies and gentlemen. He is gone, but the Immortal is going to get picked up here. That is a full shield Immortal walking through this top side, so Food for Frobius gonna have to go and clean that one up, Coffee.
I don't entirely mind what we see here from him just throwing himself every time as this plays in front of the blue side members. Blaze apparently makes quite a good bait to buy time for him to take down the Immortal, but camp still comes out from Food for Frobius, and they are getting a nice bottom push as well, so...
That's
Looks
true.
like for the Immortal, like I said, it's full shield, so this fort doesn't really stand a chance. Get all the damage on it you want, you're going to lose that one.
Hat here though on the Varian with the flank, the stun onto Valor, the taunt follow-up, and she will be the first to fall. I don't think there's going to be any more here, but that is another nice little pickup here for Food for Frobius. It's helping out with his XP, but maybe Varian has been caught here. He is going to force the Brightwing teleport, but that's going to be all. They are going to be able to make it out of this one.
And so, now while the kills are somewhat going the way of Frobius, the more substantial leads, the long-term advantages with taking out both the forts are going the way of PrayForUs. So I think if you're the red team, you're very happy with the state of the game at the moment. Soon your Kelfast will have his quest completed, Valor's won't be too far behind, so the middle game power spikes will be coming in soon for the side of for PrayForUs rather.
That is true, but a wise man once said live on the Heroes of the Storm channel that the correct way to lose Battlefield of Eternity is to win Battlefield of Eternity is first to lose all of your keeps, and Food for Frobius well on track for the snitch playstyle here, Coffee. They are definitely allowing this early game macro to maybe slip a bit, but they've got a comp that's going to steer them into the late game, and most crucially of all, this XP is close enough that they are not going to be at a disadvantage when that comes around.
We'll see whether the 40% difference in passive XP is enough. Now, what does mean though is that waves will be pushing constantly into them. They will be able to find a lot safer actually. Hold on a moment, because Blaze is gone again. Bunker or not, well, in this case no bunker, because just evaporated. Blaze will once again be seeing the light come in front of him as things not going so bad. As I was saying before, for benefit, as we can kind of see here on the bomb side, is that with these catapult pushes, it means that all the XP can be nice and easily picked up by the side of Frobius. But I mean, just collecting this bottom wave has the phase shift ready if needed, so XP advantage now for our blue team, making a little bit of a comeback. So Stitch of the Wise Matic and his gospel might still be accurate to this day.
I mean, very, very strong player. But as we see, the engage coming out onto Sonic is not quite going to connect here. She will be able to walk out, and now the blue team setting up, trying to find some poke damage in. But really, they want to find this angle from either the variant or the ETC, and the taunt comes down onto a Nubrak. The damage is there. He's knocked back. He's poly, but he will be able to walk out. Sonny just a little bit too far away from her team, and now it looks like she's going to be in a lot of trouble. Traps near Cocoon. We see Li Ming fall first. Variant falling very low, but he will be able to walk out, and now the ETC slide back. Not going to be able to get any follow-up, though, from the blue team, and this will be a kill. And some immortal damage going over to PrayForUs.
Red team managing to find the win in the fight, but it looks like we're not done yet, as now it looks like Link is once again the target here, not having too much fun as our Blaze player does actually get out on 74 health, I believe that was, so not going to fall this time. Splice, Rain of Vengeance will try to help them get away, but actually Perceive not able to find a kill, so everyone from PrayForUs is able to survive. Now, resets coming up from the Kelfast, and they're just going to keep eating some healing darts to try and be fine, and we have a quite tight race at the moment. Perceive and Sardonian trying to do what they can here as going quite to the wire. We see the defense coming out from the front line of Frobius, and it will be blue team just barely picking up the Immortal.
Nicely done here, but Sonny's falling really low to this Valor. Nice wave of force from Sardonian. We'll be able to keep her up, but her and Jam now both so low in this backline. The taunt from Hat is out on a Nubrak, and it looks like he is going to fall for this, but is there follow-up? The damage from Li Ming is coming out, but it can't connect on the same target. Oh no! Blaze gets popped whilst trying to back out. Maybe a little bit too aggressive there from him, and doesn't look like there's going to be any more follow-up, though, as the waves are so pushed out for the red team here, Coffee.
Right, we're going to get even more XP at the moment, and we saw in that last engagement the power of a Blink Heal, Jam able to survive, going to top out of that one, the benefit of not going for the Emerald Wind Immortal, this time not really able to do so much, not even half of the forts. This game's going quite a distance, and for Frobius, it feels like they're playing with momentum at the moment.
Oh, but we have a quick DC here coming in from Blaze, so I think we're going to be going back
tactical
to
pause going to stop that momentum I was talking about, I suppose.
These teams, they're using all the tricks in the books. They don't want to be left behind in this game of Coffee. But in this pause, I want to have a little talk about Anna's smelling salts, because you mentioned it does give the 2 second of armor and that stun removal, but it's only stuns. And if we look over to the blue side, outside of that ETC, there aren't any stuns coming down. So the whole taunt polymorph combo, that can be pulled off, and Anna can't do anything about it, Coffee.
It's been a while since I read up on my CC rules. I believe the taunt does count as a stun, if I'm not mistaken, so we'll be able to cleanse that one. It's both a stun as a silence, as I...
Is it both? Okay. I was aware it was a silence, but I'm not sure.
Someone in push chat might need to correct me on this one, but absolutely, though, the polymorph is not able to be dealt with by the smelling salts, one of the few forms of crowd control that Anna can't do anything about. And another town we'll quickly talk about while we're at it is Varian has chosen Juggernaut at 13, going for 4% of maximum health, which is a little bit of an interesting choice considering that you probably do more damage with one attack with shattering foe auto attacks onto Nubak with a shield up, or Cal fast with a shield up, or you probably prevent more healing with Mortal Strike's healing reduction, but there's a choice of just going for the absolute most blow up that they can find, I suppose.
They just want to have all of the possible damage coming through instantly.
There's damage, they want it, but
Mhm.
I suppose that's the thinking coming in here from the blue team here, as we've seen quite a few times. They've found the blow-ups that they've been looking for mostly onto Blaze, which is possibly a little bit of concern for them, because if Blaze can pull the bunkers off in time, they're not really going to be a blob target later in the game, so might end poorly for them.
That's true, but if you can put that much damage into a Blaze, anyone else is a potential target. It's just about who you can see first, right? And yes, there is always that threat of the bunker, but most of the times he's not even dying whilst the bunker's dropping. He's dying before he has a chance to push that button, Coffee. So for now, at least, it looks like they have got the chain nailed, and they have got enough damage in that time that there's nothing Anna can really do to save him. But it will be interesting to see if that does change as the game goes on.
Twitch chat telling me that Taunt is indeed only a scientist, not also a stun. I suppose that does add up. So as it does mean that the smelling salt's only really able to be used against the ETC, and we haven't yet seen mosh pit from Sonny been holding up on that one for the best possible mosh pit for our highlight reels, of course. So can look forward to that one when it does come out, as we are still just waiting for one of our players to return.
Mm-hmm. It does look like we are just going to be hanging out here a little bit longer. This Blaze DC, very unfortunate, but you know, an hour and a half into our task, did we really expect to even have an outcome for the second map, Coffee? I'm sure I didn't.
90 minutes. I reckon one can us do 2 maps in that time.
You know, coming up,
like we have quite the day ahead of us, though. If this is how long these games are going, and we have 2 full series after this one, so can look forward to that, I suppose. I'm sure my sleep schedule is going to absolutely love us. But we are back into game. Blaze has returned, and the teams are approaching the level 16 mark.
Slight advantage for Food for Frobius, but nothing too major. It should come in at roughly the same time. The waves are pushed out, though, for the red team, so there is some XP being left on the table as Jam, you know, on that Bright Wing, even if she wants to clear the... Oh no, team. Right, well, it looks like we're going to be transitioning into another pause here, as the offlaner for Food for Frobius saw that DCing and tactical pausing was all the rage, and he has now also dropped out of this game, Coffee.
Just playing the mental warfare, I suppose, as well. I might have cursed before by saying we were back underway as well. Looks like we're going to be dragging out the second game a little bit longer because, well, we don't want to be... I mean, I feel bad for our teams that have to start their first round games and not able to, because we're still here in game number 2.
Has to be said, I think the only thing to do in this moment is to have a little reminder of future entertainment that will be coming up.
What have we got,
this
Buzz?
channel, because tomorrow we are going to be seeing the Mythic Cup, the Div 1 teams fighting it out, dueling for the title of the best team in all of Heroes Lounge, Coffee. That is a very coveted title, and yet not even the most coveted title we have coming up, because next weekend on Saturday we are going to be having the off-season cup final. We're going to be seeing which team is the best at choosing a random hero out of 3 and running it down. Who can die the least, who can get those forts down, who can just headbutt their way to victory through that middle lane, and then the real tournament, Coffee.
The most important one.
The most innovative competition ever in all of Heroes of the Storm history, the Nexus Rumble.
Not as good as some beers of a boys, though.
Might need that one fact check for us in chat, please, team.
I remember our interview we had at the start of the cast day. My ears do not fool me on that one, but looks like we're having a little bit of a blue screen here on the blue team, so might be here for a few more minutes. I don't know, what else do you have to say about the state of the game? Because, well, it is the 2-4 advantage for the red team, but things have been looking quite nice for Frobius in the more recent minutes.
There is that 2-kill advantage going over for the blue team that is showing they're slightly more effective in the fights coming out. But this is once again a game on a knife edge, Coffee. I would hate to have to call this one either way right now.
And, well, we will see.
We can take a quick moment here.
Absolutely wonderful.
To look over to the other game going over, Mold Level Falling versus Luftwaffe. I've been reliably informed that the first game went over to Mold Level Falling, and they are now duking it out in their second game as well. So, fortunately, not going to be a huge delay going into the semifinals, as neither team able to complete 2 games in under an hour and a half.
The real challenge, I suppose, who needs to win Heroes of Storm? We just need to get these maps out of the way. However, we're being paid by the hour, so my request for the teams is that they drag out as long as possible, but we are into our game once again. Hopefully, no more pausing. The teams aren't allowed too many more pauses, so they don't have a choice in their manner.
I've never seen a game run out of pauses before, Coffee, but maybe this is the series for it as we come back into this BOE game. Food for Frobius have got that 16 locked in, and we do see PrayForUs able to connect their 16 times as well. The active reload, so big for Anna, getting that burst damage out, but a bit of a switch up from a Nubrak. Debilitation, not the standard level 16, I don't think, Coffee.
Oh, well, it's a standard level 16 if you aren't Beetle build, but Beetlejuice is a talent and has the trade icon, so might as well go for it if you're going Beetle build. But looks like the target's Varian, but protected, by the way. He doesn't care. The Banner of Stormwind will get the King of Stormwind out to relative safety, but taking quite a bit of damage, actually, is Brother Varian going to survive in the end, though, as PrayForUs will drive them off the Immortal. Now, Kel'Thas has finished the quest. He has the Mana Addict shield available, if so desired, so going to be a little bit hard to burst that one down. Vala also having finished her quest.
That is indeed true, but we have to talk as well about this Pixie power coming out. Maybe not, though, as Anubarak taking so much damage, but the Kel'Thas putting his damage over the entire blue team. Everyone's falling a little bit low there. And once again, the buttons are pushed, but no one is falling, Coffee.
Having a little bit of back and forth at the moment, and this is going the way of PrayForUs. Catapults doing their thing in the bottom lane. Like I said before, it's nice to have lanes pushing so they can pick up the XP, but you don't want them pushing too hard because then you lose all your structures and before they're just even done. But
damage
looks like the target
onto Sonny's ETC.
Sonny will survive for now, and Sardonian slowly working on this Immortal, but it looks like Varian is the target hit by the Immortal stun. Link taking down damage will actually fall to Li Ming. Will beat Li Ming falling, though Vala had enough of that one. Varian gone, ETC looking next. Sonny will make it out for now, but 2-for-1 going the way of PrayForUs.
That active reload there coming out from Anna, not enough to save the Blaze. Very unfortunate there. But we do see the blue team, not the blue team, the red team able to turn that fight. PrayForUs getting the kills onto the Li Ming and the Varian. Sid maybe just diving a little bit too deep with that Calamity and getting caught, I think, by an Immortal stun, which is very unfortunate. He did pop in return, and then Varian not able to quite walk it out in time. So top lane going to be pushed in by another Immortal, and Food for Frobius, they're on track for this lose keeps win game strategy, Coffee.
Well, we will see what is going to be happening. I hope we don't see the attempt of lose cool win game strategy, not the highest win rate on that one.
That is true.
And now looking to get the Nurak, and the bug goes splat.
Sonny falling low there, but Jam with the, I'm going to call intentional perfect timing on that teleport. Just coming in after the grenade had finished, so Sonny is able to survive through that. The big sleeps are coming down though, and Kel'Thas's damage is definitely hurting.
Ignite Kel'Thas does quite a lot of single target damage to people that are caught by it. Now, Immortal has gone through one keep, so one more to go before we see the strategy put into full effect. But we both know this is all just for show. It's 100% win rate ETC, so we are going to see the miracle comeback from Frobius, and it might start with a Bruiser camp invade, but Link has spotted it out, is in position, uses the Unstoppable very nicely done, and now the Kel'Thas damage!
So much damage coming out from the Kel'Thas! Oh! Sorry, Coffee, I cut you off a bit there, but ETC just vanishes from the screen. That AoE stun coming out from the Anub'arak. The follow-up damage from the Kel'Thas with Valor's multi-shot on top of it is going to see food for Frobius in a world of hurt. And now Jam has been caught out in the bot side as well. Varian steps up to save her, but he's going to get caught in the cocoon. And I don't think Hat's got a way out of this one either, Coffee.
Protected, by the way, doing what can. Brightwing on the way with the healing, so Hat's going to walk it out, but Sleeping's going the other way. Hits the spells eventually onto Anna and going to take that one, but Ignite doing its thing. One more spell rotation, nearly finding Valor, but Gleaming will trade in the end. However, her sacrifice is not in vain as driven off the side of PrayForUs. And it looks like we will be seeing a level 20 fight at least once this game.
It does indeed look like 40 minutes. An hour, no, not 40 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes into the beginning, we are going to see these second level 20s coming down. What a slogfest this has been. But I feel like we were very right in our predictions in this draft. These fights are so explosive, Coffee. When a target is picked, when a target is found, they just vanish. So much damage coming out from both sides as we come into this Immortal race here.
And, well, both teams just smacking away at their respective Immortals at the moment. Level 20s reached first for blue team, see if maybe they can collapse on someone and force to fight.
Anub'arak forced to burrow out there. ETC does now threaten that Blink Mosh, as I still don't think we've seen Sonny push her Arky yet this game, Coffee.
Just using the pressure, the mind games of having the Mosh available at the moment, but it looks like the catapult and the camper is going to be answered by a Viziv, which means having to give up on the objective, so we might have, I believe it's the fourth of all. They are going to survive for the time being and defend that more for a moment, and I feel like we're going to have a fight in the next 30 seconds, so I can look forward to that one.
Food for Frobius definitely in a position where they have to find this fight soon, or that top lane will push down into the core. But they are getting damage out onto the Immortal at the moment. This is going well. The taunt comes out. The bullet is there. Anub'arak with that 75. Oh, but the backline. Oh, Anub'arak just able to connect the stun, and now Jam falls so low as she blinks in to try and save Sonny. That will be the first kill going over. Blaze's bunker is there, and he is dropping. Sonny has to blink out, and now the red team, can they get this kill? ETC able to walk away. The blue team look like they're going to be okay here. Anub'arak diving in. Is there going to be any re-engage? It doesn't look like it, and so much value, Coffee, coming out there from the Traitor King. That 75 armor as Anub'arak was the kill target, but taunt again, and this time Blaze won't survive. Food for Frobius getting the kill back. They are looking for this second follow-up. They might have lost their bribing, but they still have these two beefy tanks at the front, putting out this damage, getting the CC so that the Li Ming Greymane can follow up, and this should be the first Immortal of the, no, the second Immortal of the game going over for the blue team. Or will it be as Anub'arak engages onto Sonny? The stun is there, the follow-up from the Immortal, and ETC will fall, Coffee. Back and forth we go. Such an incredible team fight coming up from both sides.
Looking like it's good, and then all of a sudden one person caught out and falling happening quite a few times now, but in the end, things are going the way of PrayForUs, so looks like they will be able to find the second keep in this game with this. Well, no question about it. The only thing is, are they able to win the game? 30 seconds still on ETC, so going to be doing this one without a tank. Now the bug will not get splattered this time, as well, Future Frobius are so out of position, and Greymane going to be going straight into the cocoon. Going to survive for now, though.
Nanobus comes out onto the Valor. She puts her damage into Varian. He should be okay here, but this Immortal still has shields, and the second keep has fallen. Blaze is on his way, and when he gets it will be 5v5 as Sonny is respawning at exactly the same time. So this is it. This is the fight for the game. Torn comes out onto a Nubrak. He's able to get his shield up, though. He's going to survive this first attempt, and the core is falling, Coffee. 70%. 60%, and Nubrak pops first. Is there follow-up? Hat here just trying to control Valor on the backside, but there's so much health left on this Immortal, and game number 2 goes over to PrayForUs, and it's not done, Coffee. We're going to go into a game number 3. This is still our first series, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like I was given the wrong script because I was told that ETC never loses on the side of Food for Phobius, but now 12-1 Sonny's ETC as PrayForUs. They've shown that Division 3's got a little bit of fight left in them still, as they will bring us, as I said, to game number 3 in the series. Very nicely done by them, able to find the picks whenever members of the blue team were out of position, able to draw out the game, and eventually their structure lead was able to have a nice impact on winning that game.
And now, once again, we have to reset and think. Game number 3. This is only our first series of the day. What choices are our teams going to make here, Coffee? Are we going to see Food for Frobius pick another map after the BOE choice didn't go the way they wanted? Or are they going to secure that first pick, take that slight draft advantage, and hope it's going to be enough to tilt what is, frankly, two so well-balanced teams? So unfortunate we see this matchup in just the quarterfinals.
Well, if I know anything about Heroes Lounge, is that we are 100% of the time going to see Infernal Shrines as our last map, because everybody loves Infernal Shrines around here, so...
Well, Coffee, I'm afraid you know nothing about Heroes Lounge.
Apparently, what do I know?
Food for Frobius have brought us to Sky Temple for this final map, and that is going to be very enjoyable for us to watch. But before we talk about that, a quick update. Luftwaffe able to take the second game against Mold, level falling, so no one has managed to make it onto their second games of the day just yet, Coffee.
This is going to be a long one, isn't it?
Strap in, boys.
Are you able to do the first 2 games of Legendary Cup? I said, sure, it can't be that bad, but hold on. We are going to have a 2-hour first series, which means that we might see some sunlight in the background of my webcam before we are finished here today.
Oh.
Especially if we have a few more 3-game series.
Definitely, though, have to talk a little bit about Sky Temple now. What do we think we might see coming out here, Coffee?
Well, I think Samu is going to be very pleased to know that the Haka, with the recent changes, has been seeing quite a bit more playtime, especially on this map. For Globals in general, a map heroes like to see on this map, able to pressure the side lanes and also come in for the big fights. So False Start we saw earlier, Brightwing we've been seeing all the time, and possibly the Haka is another one that we can look to have here. And ETC Stage Dive, we saw that in the first game, maybe something we're going to see as well, but in general, we are just looking to have... Oh, as the entire team decides to leave the lobby. Oh no, I have such cowardice on my watch.
Sure, they're working on it, Coffee. You know, they'll get there. This is the final match. The team that loses this game is going to be knocked out of the Legendary Cup in what is somehow only the quarterfinals. I know it feels like a grand final, and it feels like we've been here long enough for us to be at the grand final, but this is game number 1 of this Legendary Cup, Coffee.
We have 4 more series still after this one, so don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more Heroes of the Storm action coming for you. As everyone is here, we should be getting into game number 3 of the series soon enough.
We should indeed, Coffee, as both our teams are ready. We are going to be transitioning into this Sky Temporal Draft as soon as the poor Blizzard servers can wake up and, find us some.
Well, they have to come all the way over to Kiwiland, so takes a little bit of time for Blizzard to jump the pond, so to speak. As another hero we might need to be looking at, so obviously we're going to see. I think at this point you have to assume Medivh is going to stay on the bench, but we saw the Lost Vikings get banned out in game number 1, and this is another map where you could look to play those pesky rascals, so that might be something that the side of Food for Phobius will be taking off the field.
I think definitely we could see those bans coming out, but we also have to have a little look at that foul stat that got through in game 1. Those gusts so well used in fights, and this is definitely a foul stat map, but so far our ban script appears to be being adhered to very well here, Coffee. The Medivh, the Sylvanas, not going to feature in this series.
I mean, I'm not even going to offer you bets on what this next one will be. Stukov seems to be the 1 year to imagine the team's going to go for. We've seen PrayForUs, they're quite insistent. Well, actually, what do I know? Falstad is decided to be more of a problem, so possibly going to see Jams Stukov this game, which would be something I'm very much looking forward to. I was promised 3-man roots. Now, we've seen in the first game some 2-man sleep darts that were crucial, so it's quite possible that we get to see the triple root come out this game.
Any 3-man roots in the chat, but Anna, that first pick, they won with it when they first picked it last time. Their priority is there, they want it, and they're going to pick it up. What are we going to see in response? That ETC, no longer 100% win rate, but still available now for Sonny. Will she be picking that up here? Or will we see something else come out for Food for Frobius, Coffee?
Well, 92% win rate's all right, I suppose. No, we will not be seeing it. I mean, maybe it's a matter of pride after losing 100% win rate, but it will not be the ETC from Sunny and Nubrak. Apparently, just the tank of choice in this series, and Jam Stukov will be brought out this time.
What an aggressive, engaged setup they have there, Coffee. That burrow into silence, so good at locking down people that usually have great survivability tools for themselves. And the response, that Kel'Thas coming out again with the ETC this time, slide into gravity laps with the big flame strikes underneath it, and those living bombs being spread around, is going to do a lot of damage, but it's not quite the mirror of before. And again, those Lost Vikings taken out in the second half don't want to be seen on this map at all by the blue team.
We did see a few moments of Kel'Thas magic coming out in the last game by Vost, where was very nice in finding some of those picks that we saw. So maybe a little bit more Kel'Thas magic is what our Division 3 team here needs in order to take this series. Now, just dotting their I's, crossing their T's. Zeratul going to be removed. No tricky heroes coming out here, but another hero that you like to see on Sky Temple is Amethyr, and that wouldn't surprise me at all if it was something in Faziv's repertoire.
Amethyr is indeed a hero Faziv has been known to pick up, but we're going to see Annie Samu's in the chat. The dinosaur has been brought out of retirement. Is going to be playing the Dahaga, and that Cassia coming out for Sidonian, somehow not yet featured in this series, does so much damage in close quarters fights. And when a Nubrak is getting that engage and Jam's got that silence underneath her, she can just absolutely destroy the enemy team, Coffee.
There's a little bit surprised that here's some more fun stuff, but a little bit surprised that we didn't see Cassia earlier, and all of a sudden the Zelda ban makes sense as Tyrael is the offlaner of choice for Link, and the Haka's looking pretty good at the moment because there isn't. I mean, Tyrael's not exactly offlaner known for his wave clears, so we might see a bit of a macro pressure coming out of this game, and Nappa here would really cement that, but Rexar is the choice, and my friends over on Hype, they've been playing the Rexar 4-man a little bit, and it looks like Viziv is going to bring us as well this time from the Legendary Cup.
But let's not forget, this is Judgment into Dragon Strike, Coffee. What an incredible setup we see from the red team. And that stage dive on top of the Judgment to keep them slowed in that Dragon Strike for as long as possible. It's going to be so horrible against all of that. I can't pull it off, Coffee. I can't transition through.
I'll believe it when I see it, but I think we're going to be safe. Zelda ban, he's known as one of the heroes most annoying to deal with because your sanctification doesn't matter when you're all stuck in time for a few seconds, and so I think we're going to be safe on that front. And well, part of me really feels that this is just going to be Dahaka taking over this game with global pressure, but if you think that Frobius able to win this one, exclamation mark bet A. If you think PrayForUs can pull off the reverse sweep, exclamation mark bet B. Luca, who do you think is going to win this one?
I mean, I got to vote with my boy Samu, right? When the dinosaur comes out.
That's the one.
Got to bet on that team as we see coming out for the final game in this just game number 1 of the entire day, match number 1 potentially I should say. But here we are on Sky Temple, the champions of Division 2 being brought up against the wire. It is food for Frobius with Sonny on the Anubarak, Jam on the Stukov, Fiziv on the Rexar, Hat on the Dahaka, and Sidonian playing the Cassia.
And on the right side, representing Division 3, it is PrayForUs. Hazuko playing Hanzo, Link playing ETC, Sojaloon once again playing Anna, Frost bringing out Kalfar, and Blyce will be playing Tyrael, so it looks like it's not going to be Tyrael offlane, it's going to be the stage dive ETC this game, so maybe we are going to see Judgment, Dragon Strike, and stage dive after all.
I can't think of a better way to end out this series, although maybe, just maybe, Sanctification could bring a little bit more value, Coffee.
Who needs value when you have flashy explosions and holy light magics? As looks like Cassius decided to opt into the Lightning Fury style, going to be stacking that one up over the course of the game after throwing a few pokey sticks.
Definitely gives you a lot of burst damage in this late team fights.
We are at the 1 minute moment. Camp's not quite started yet for Zeev, just sitting on the flank with the bear. Going to be healing Misha, she's already full health. A little bit of a suspect play, but it looks like the play is onto Hanzo, but going to survive for now is Hyexo, and we might see Dahakave because Food for Focus, they do love their giants, and they are once again invading a siege camp. Some things never change, I suppose.
I am once again asking for your siege camp, ladies and gentlemen. Jam just using that silence to try and control the backline of the red team, and they are going to be able to pick up this first camp. The threat of the Dahaka rotation just too much in the end for the red team. Going to have to let it go over, and you'd love to see this early game aggression coming out from our legendary cup teams, Coffee. Not willing to give even an inch on this map if they don't have to.
And they will absolutely, under no circumstances, give up a siege camp, as we have definitely seen so far. And not going to be the Beal build this time, and Nubak going to be playing the Carapace style, try to reduce the damage from the poke from the Q build Hanzo and Kel'Thas, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely some spell damage coming out with the Hanzo Kel'Thas, and maybe they feel that, unlike against the Li Mings, I think that we saw it in before, these Beetles not got the same number of skill shots to block, so just going to be comfortable with the more standard, or the older standard, shall we say, Anubarak builds, getting that extra armor up and just making you a little bit tankier. We do see, though, these teams so evenly matched in XP. Their rotations so crisp as they try and just find the slight edges. The red team are going to be in position, though, on this middle shrine first, getting those early shots out, whilst the blue team want to get this camp pushing in the top lane, put a bit of pressure onto ETC, who is not the highest wave clear offlaner.
We'll get a little bit better level 7 once the Echo Pedal comes in, but until now, what we can do is try and smack people with that guitar as is for Trade of the Temples. Now, I like this one has just going to be pushing out for the wave, try and convince ETC that he probably doesn't want to stand on the temple for much longer. As the fight's happening in the middle lane, not too much happening, rotating down to possibly assist the team. In the meantime, Booster Camp smacking away at the top turrets, so overall, it's a win for Frobius, getting a little bit more siege damage down. Hat taking a little bit of damage, but should be fine.
It's a very close end trade at the end of this, though. Both teams in positions they can be very happy with. No one with a real advantage, as gank attempt onto Tyrael won't quite be able to connect there. That's unfortunate, but a nice little try. He's now mounted up and feeling a little bit safe again, but Food for Frobius, they want this bottom well, and has Jam overstepped. Doesn't look like there's going to be the punish to follow it up as Kel'Thas hadn't yet rotated in, but now Zidonian on that Cassia has been caught. Nice peeling stun there from Misha. Of course, we talk about Rexard all this time, Coffee, but the real hero is the bear. Everyone knows it.
I was wondering when that joke was going to get made as... well, Zidonian going pretty deep looking for the Hanzo kill. Gonna survive thanks to the vigorous reuptake of Stukov, but can get a little bit close as we are actually going to see the complete auto attack style from this ETC. Guitar Hero at level 1 and now the Hammer on level 7 is trying to smack the minions to death with the axe, and Kel'Thas going to be smacking himself as going to fall, and another siege cap will be stolen.
Nicely done here. These siege camps worth their weight in gold as damage comes through onto Tyrael. He's just about going to survive, but any gold player worth their salt, Coffee, they will tell you that the way you win Sky Temple is taking a top vision eye. But Food for Frobius, they know the real strats. It's not about that top vision eye, it's about that bottom enemy siege camp. The more times you can cap the bottom enemy siege camp, the more winning you have done. It's just maths, frankly.
Well, they have done quite a bit of winning to earn themselves a 1 level lead at the moment, about to ding level 10, so I feel like they are playing a little bit too safe at the moment. It could be, well, now they are moving up and going to finish just a bomb fort, get that tempo shooting the mid lane. And, well, if you're PrayForUs, you kind of just have to give it up, and there's not really much you could do. The Sky Temple struggles are in full effect at the moment.
I think probably they didn't know where they were, and as soon as that camp cap comes up, they're like, okay, we're safe here. Having a little look to see if he could lick the Hanzo, but Hanzo doesn't want to have that Dahaka drooling all over him. And in the top lane, this camp actually getting a little bit of value out. ETC able to push it right up to the fort, and I think this fort will go down for the blue team, so not a horrible trade here for...
It's going to survive, actually, so...
Caster cursing those. Nicely done, but the red team, they've read Food for Frobius' playbook, they've read it twice, and they saw in bold at the start, it said invade siege camp, so that's what they've done, team. Siege camp going over to PrayForUs, and honestly at this point, maybe we need to start calling the siege camps by the other names. Maybe that just is the red team's siege camp.
And might very well be it. Now, level 10 ETC has the global on its own, so it can match for Dahaka in the big flanking plays if he so desires, but for now just going to keep smacking that dinosaur with his cute little axe for all he can, and like not too much is really happening. Splice maybe playing a little bit far up though, being hit by all the crowd control. Here comes the stage dive, but there's a silence waiting for you there, buddy. Hats coming in as well, so everyone's here, including all the boars. XR 4-man trying to chase him down, but those boars are a little bit tired and joining Misha in not being part of the map anymore.
That is unfortunate for them. Those balls not quite connecting there. Never seen that one happen before, but I guess I'm just not up to date with my Rexar knowledge. I thought balls chased to the end of the earth, to be honest. But I guess you learn something new every day as Misha here, just putting a little bit of damage in, trying to say hello to the red team, who are going to be able to steal away the camp on their own side, Coffee. It looks like there isn't going to be an invade for once.
Not quite in position to go and take their camp, but Frobius, they do now have position of the bomb side. The Harker looking at the top fort to death in the meantime, so I think they'll be satisfied even though they didn't manage to pick up their camp. But now it is to play around the temples once again, nearly level 13 for our blue team. Misha taking a lot of damage and actually going to fall down, so maybe this is enough to convince the side of PrayForUs to move on to the temples, as the Harker is really insisting on just taking these lanes, but now digging on in is everyone. We have a 5v5. Ana dragged on in, but the sanctification is there. The target seems to be Kel. Fast forward, playing downwards into the choke. That is not where you want to go, my friend. It's going to be the first one to fall. ETC dropping as well. 2 kills going the way of the blue team.
And that's a very nice fight there from Frobius, able to connect enough abilities to take down the members of PrayForUs. And now we might see them run it down into this bottom keep, or is this going to be a boss call? I don't know. There's a bit of confusion coming out from the side of Frobius here.
A little bit of indecisiveness, so I would hope they don't go for the boss at this point. Looks like the decision is just going to be to grab the temples. It is Sky Temple. You don't need to cross the halfway line in order to win the game. Such is the way of things. Now, Darko going to work up on the top side, and looks like we might have another siege. Oh, this will be a little bit interesting. They went for the boss, but siege camp up, so that is now the next point of contention, but PrayForUs going to give this one up.
PrayForUs, they're not sure who exactly is on the top point, and so they're going to have a little gut punch. Can we successfully cap this boss? But they see the 4-man reappear. They work out it's just a Dahaka who can burrow down, and very quickly any boss ideas are left behind. But now maybe Frobius is going to set up a trap around this boss, vanishing from the map long enough. No, they don't think that's what their play is going to be. Instead, trying to set up this camp, looking for 16 before they force that fight, Coffee.
And now you're getting a little bit desperate if you side for PrayForUs. The keeps are starting to feel a little bit of a tingling sensation at the moment from these laser shots. Blink is spotting out that the Bruise camp is underway, but not daring to start up the boss of side of PrayForUs.
Although now Tyrael, hearing a call out from Coffee, says, "What do you mean we're not mad enough for boss? We totally do, boss."
They've all showed in the top side, as it said before. The eye is the way to winning this game, but level 16s are here for the blue team, so this might be a little bit of a disaster. Tyrael brought off a point, no sanctification in sight. Hanzo comes out, but it's too late. And the throw pit has returned. ETC not able to capture the boss. 3-4-0 fight, and it's all gone wrong for PrayForUs.
Nicely done there by Frobius. They saw the call was coming. They knew that with the burrow, they could get to the point in time, and very calm and cool in what could have been a very, very hectic fight. They made sure they connected their picks, they got the kills, and now this boss is marching towards the core. Level 16 talent tier advantage coming up for the blue team. Coffee, this does not look pretty.
Everyone has come up. Sanctifications are available. We're going to be used now. So, one less cooldown now. This core ability on Sky Temple is very annoying to play into. So, might help them defend Kelfast, dropping those living bombs. But everyone manages to spread out. The target is Tyrael gonna once again drop. Valkyrie finds Hanzo. Follow-up is there, and he will fall as well. So it looks like this will be the game-ending push. Core taking damage. See if maybe the stage drivers is enough, but it doesn't quite look that way. GG's as Food for Frobius win Series 1 in a 2-1 manner. We are 2 hours into this and we just finished our first series.
Oh, third of the way through our casts for today. I hope you are ready to be awake when the sun rises. I think
We're only
after
a few hours away from that at this point.
only after that absolutely monstrous series between PrayForUs and Food for Frobius, I think we're going to transition into a short break, set ourselves up for the next series. But we will see you all back here again soon for some more action. We are going to be seeing Encore take on Out of Position Squad in just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all then. Fade Food for Frobius is camping. Urel is stuck topside. They're going to have to let this go.
Well, Coon comes out onto Bitewing, so no heal at the moment for our red team, and Gaslow falling, Bitewing running away as fast as a Fairy Dragon can. Nano boost onto Li Ming though. In from Splice onto the bomb side. They're looking for Arna. Holofly comes out just in time actually. And Jam actually going to walk it out though, despite everything. Here comes Genji though, Dragon Blade. Easy swipe on the Arna. No Cocoon will be able to stop that boost camp. They're not going to fight in the spell armor though. Now, Perceive on the flank, huge gust. Grabber Bomb is there onto Hat, but everything is just so nice for the Li Ming at the moment. 2 kills going their way. A huge sleep from Jam onto 2 members. Genji taking a lot of damage. Will find the Li Ming kill though, but despite everything, this is going to be... Actually, I'm not spoken too soon. The Gaslight turrets are still around, so it will be 2 for 3 in the end.